ever get any videos?
My videos don't exist.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm presenting on the Wisconsin School for the Deaf, or WSD. Alright, so WSD was established in 1852, and it's the only deaf school in Wisconsin, which is located in Delavan. It's governed under the Department of Public Instruction, and if you were to look at like a tree of who they govern, it's DPI, and then West DHH, which is where I have my internship right now, and WSD, which is where Jamie has hers. DPI, West, WSD. So technically, West DHH and WSD are linked together because of DPI. And then their mission statement and philosophy, Jamie and I have been joining in on long-range planning meetings right now, and they're currently changing their mission and philosophy. So
Why?
they don't really have one. They're working towards having a more unified mission statement for WSD and West DHH, whereas right now it seems more focused on WSD only.
Also, I think they're seeing like enrollment decrease.
Oh yeah.
And so they're trying to prevent it, or figuring out how.
Trying to.
Gotcha.
Keyword. But if you do want to see their current mission statement, it's up on their website, but it's completely different now.
Okay, good.
Okay. So who do they serve? The services are provided to hard of hearing, deaf, and deaf-blind students in the pre-K through 12 setting, but at WSD the age level goes up to 21. And their staff includes teachers, teacher assistants, administrators, house parents, maintenance personnel, nurses, office staff, and staff interpreters. Specifically, they have speech and language specialists. Okay. They use games and activities to improve writing and spoken English skills. They have a literary specialist who provides support for the staff in how to adjust their curriculum to support the students' needs. The interpreter services, they have 4 staff interpreters on site, and they're used mostly for IEP meetings or when parents are coming in to meet with the teacher. They have ASL specialists. One example would be Chris Rawlings is an ASL specialist there. They're native ASL users that come in and provide language assessments. They have physical therapy, and they work with students to provide a bunch of different services to them to help support the deficits that are unique to that particular student. They also have pupil services, so older students come in to help read to or tutor the younger age students. Even sometimes a guidance counselor comes in so that there isn't that age difference or feeling of, well, this student's older so they're superior to you as a younger student, so that younger students don't feel diminished in getting help from another student. They have bilingual specialists, which obviously they provide resources for bilingual instruction. Occupational therapy, and also audiological services. So here's another list of the different services. WSD is pretty important in the community because it is one of the only bilingual, bicultural settings for deaf students. Some comments that I saw on the website were it's being called a barrier-free communication environment, so that the student doesn't have that interpreter, teacher, student role where communication takes a while, or like we were talking about traffic control earlier, where somebody's overlapping on another person. It's just student and teacher, or student and guidance counselor, or a one-on-one action, whereas having that extra person in there that isn't necessarily needed in this environment. Core curriculum is pretty important there. It's just like any average school has. It's set at an appropriate level for the ages, but then they also add in deaf studies and ASL, so the students are getting the deaf cultural aspect as well. Every student at WSC is provided with an IEP, and they have residence halls on campus, and that is for any student that lives further than 30 to 45 minutes away.
So that's a lot of IEPs.
I was thinking actually I thought the same thing.
I was just thinking about like
Jamie.
at a normal school with a few kids, but every student has an IEP. Like, how do you know like how they manage that time? Do they have very specific times when it's planned out that they're going to talk about this? Because that's a lot of students to go through. But or do you not know?
That's actually something I don't know, but I'm sure Jamie does
That's a
because she
Jamie, I
sits in
would-
on all of them.
I can tell you about every IEP. Because they're deaf, they're considered disabled, therefore they're required to have an IEP. We do 2 to 3 IEPs Monday through Thursday when I'm there.
Every day?
Typically, yep. Because there's like, sometimes if they want to revisit the IEP because they
Yeah.
notice something, they have to call a meeting and, refill it out. Some of the students require they call it a deaf clarifier, same concept as a CDI but not certified. So that can add in a lot of time because now you have, the person speaking about the message, you have the interpreter interpreting that message, and then you have the deaf clarifier interpreting that to the student. So it's like a 3-way process. But typically each IEP, they allot about 2 hours for each one, and I probably took part in maybe 3, maybe 5 at the most that haven't taken the whole time. So it's a huge process at WSC.
Yeah, so it is for, like you said, because they're technically disabled, IEP for everybody.
Wow.
Give them all up.
Well,